Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Jamin's Daily. Today, we got a real treat for you because we're going to introduce a new segment where we look at Yahoo and just read the headlines and the clickbait. Rapid fire, quick thought on each one, and then just on to the next one. On to the next one. So let's start. First, on the home page, new study on neck gaiters shows surprising result. And it says the CDC doesn't recommend the use of neck gaiters to protect against the coronavirus, but a recent study finds that they may have gotten a bad rap. And then it has conflicting information. These are all hyperlinks, so the conflicting information you can click on. The new study on the neck gaiter showing surprising results, you can click on. And we talked about this in an episode a while back about how we were told that the neck gaiters were no good. They actually made it worse. And now, weeks later, they say maybe not. And this is the problem with coronavirus and the measures we're taking and what people say to do and what not to do, is that there's always conflicting information. We tend to forget that this is a new thing that it's only been going around for months, not even a whole year. So everybody's reacting, people are giving advice, and they don't know. They're not sure. Okay? And the fact that a previous study said that they were no good, and then people still were wearing them, I thought was bizarre. Like nobody heard of that. But now everyone's going to hear it. Everyone's going to hear this one because it's on Jamin's Daily. So go on and rock your neck gaiter because it's not as bad as we thought. Next one. Trump eyes weekend rallies, says he feels perfect. Thing about Trump is, quick psychology of Donald Trump, as I see it, is that all his life, especially since he's been in real estate, since he's been famous, let's say from the age of 25 on, everything he says is always the best, the greatest. I feel great. I'm perfect. I feel perfect. Not that I'm perfect. He's never said he's perfect, but he says like he feels perfect. He never says something is it's all right, or yeah, that's pretty good. It's awesome. He doesn't use, I don't think I've ever heard him. He always says the best, the greatest. I feel perfect. That's just par for the course. What do you expect for him to say at this point? Come on, guys. Tom Brady. Brady didn't shake Bears QB hand. There's a reason. That's good clickbait because, what's the reason? I want to know. Well, I don't want to. We don't have time to find out. We're just going to speculate because that's funner. That's more fun. Funner is not a word. Come on, Jamin. That's more fun to speculate. So why did Brady not want to shake the Bears QB hand? Maybe because of coronavirus. I don't know. Maybe something else. Trump struggles to clear throat during Hannity call-in. That one is he sick? All right. I had to take a quick break, phone call, because we're working. We work and we play. But Trump struggles to clear throat during Hannity call-in. That's the headline. Well, we know he's sick. I don't know. Trump's done a lot of appearances that I've heard and watched, and he never really has a throat congestion, clearing his throat problem. He's a deep breathe. He'll do that. But you never hear him go. So I don't know. I didn't hear this call in, so we can only speculate what kind of struggle he really had, because these headlines aren't exactly accurate in many cases. We're gonna see on Yahoo. They have the main on the top. They have the main headline photo, and then below it they have the little carousel of like 5 other ones. Larger, not as big thumbnails, but there. And then below that they have all the other headlines that you can scroll. And in the top 5, out of the 5, 3 are Trump. So one was about he feels perfect. A second one is he struggles to clear his throat. And now a third, millionaires hit Trump on taxes. call for reform. So apparently millionaires want to pay more taxes. They're tired of paying less taxes and they want to pay more. Maybe that's what the headline implies. They're calling for reform. I'm sure, here's the thing about millionaires and tax consultants, folks. Doesn't matter how you reform it, they find ways. They find ways. It's the way of the world. Hell, everybody should be looking for a way and pay professionals to help you with your taxes. So you pay as little as possible, folks. They were talking one time to joke about, if you want to be more patriotic about taxes, like if people who make the argument that, pay your fair share, this and that. Well, listen, when you pay your taxes, I've been told you can pay more. So you can make a donation to the U.S. Treasury and just give them more money as some kind of patriotic duty for paying more taxes. Okay? So let's lead by example. I've never done it. I don't think I will, but somebody could. So I'm sure people do. So good for you. Rapper charged with shooting Megan Thee Stallion. The guy who shot Megan Thee Stallion is like a C-level rapper. I can't even think of his name right now. He's slightly famous, but maybe to the under 25 crowd. He says he drank too much, but now he's trying to say he wasn't even the one who shot her. But this gets to my point that I made in the past, is about like why these people are famous and rich. They should be at nice places with security. Why do they have guns on them? Why is this dude packing like that? When he's with Megan Thee Stallion, he's worried about her. It just seems like a role that they're playing, and then it goes bad. They're bad actors. Moving on. CNN's undecided voters reacted strongly to just one moment in the VP debate. It wasn't the Pence fly. Well, what was it, guys? This is... on some of these, I'll give you where it's coming from. The Week. And then we have Harris, Pence clash over COVID-19, economy, and vice president's debate. Mike Pence gets trolled by Joe Biden after a fly steals the spotlight at VP debate. Next, Bucks coach Bruce Arians went for it on fourth down at his own 20 and had his 43-year-old QB sneak it. Tampa's coach doesn't mind gambling. Okay, it's a nice headline. Kendall Jenner's blow-up fight with Kylie and Corey Gamble. I feel super disrespected. And then, some of these headlines, they have the main headline and then two small headlines next to it. So that's from Yahoo Entertainment. And right below, they got two links to the E Network. Here's what caused Kendall and Kylie Jenner's shocking fight on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And then there's the other is, watch Kendall and Kylie Jenner fight over an outfit in all new Keeping Up with the Kardashians sneak peek. This is how, and one reason why these people are terrible examples for people and not role models at all. And then the example of clickbait. So the two clickbaits under the original bigger headline is about two sisters fighting with each other. Come on now. Trump warns California will have to ration water because it dumps so much in the sea to help certain little tiny fish. What a meanie. Hey man, tiny fish matter. Okay, tiny fish lives matter. Donald Trump. He says, he's quoted as saying, they have farms here and they don't get water. It's so ridiculous. They're taking the water and shoving it out to sea. I don't know. Is it true? This is according to The Independent. I'm going to go on a limb here, folks, and give just my opinion, because that's what you tune in for. Most of the these news organizations that Yahoo aggregates from are gossip trash mags, okay? They're definitely not the purveyors of truth, okay? So take what you want from that. Sacha Baron Cohen. Is that how you say it? Sacha Baron Cohen said he was fortunate to make it out in one piece after inciting a riot at a far-right rally while making Borat 2. Okay, I guess I'm picturing that in my mind right now. The dude's a jackass. I'm surprised he hasn't been. I'm sure he has been assaulted at some point doing these pranks that he does. Fox News cuts ties with a regular guest after he called Kamala Harris an insufferable lying biatch on Twitter. It's not nice. Not nice. You know, you can call somebody racist. You can call them a Nazi. Some of these words I've been learning. You can call them all the bad. I mean, just think about it. Even think of World War II. The leader for Germany. What was his name? That guy. You can call him that. And the people who followed him, they were called what? You can call people these things. You can call people bigots. You call them racist, and you can get away with it. Okay, you can even call people that on network TV. Call somebody racist. Donald Trump's a racist. So and so's a racist. Right? So and so is a misogynist. These things are actually worse. Being a racist, I would think, is worse than being an insufferable lying biatch, right? But one gets you fired. The other one you can just say. Nowadays you can call anybody racist. This guy should have just said that Kamala Harris is racist instead of saying she's an insufferable lying biatch on Twitter, and maybe he would still have a job. But, there's not exactly standards for these things. It's kind of just like case by case. Trump, that was Business Insider. Business Insider is very little business, folks. Okay? Coming from that rag. HuffPost. These will be good. Trust me. Donald Trump spectacularly self-owns with Twitter attack on Kamala Harris during debate. So you got to be hip with the lingo to even understand some of these HuffPost headlines, okay? So he self-owns. What the heck is self-owned? To most people, like self-owned. But then you got to be cool enough to know that, like, when you own somebody, like when you diss somebody so much, or you clap back at somebody so badly that you own them. So it's not a good thing when you get owned. So if you're self-owning, they're implying that he made himself look dumb somehow, okay? Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. Kamala Harris shuts down Mike Pence's interruptions. More HuffPost on Yahoo. Jordan Klepper trolls Trump voters at COVID rally, and it gets awkward fast. You're going to notice, folks, on Yahoo, they have this massive obsession with Donald Trump. Just bunch of headlines every single day, all day. This is how often you should really be showering, doctors say. Now we're getting into some information that is valuable. This is under the health category from Best Life. This is how often you should really be showering, doctors say. There's some things that I don't need to ask a doctor about. And the number of times I need to shower is one of them. I hope folks at home, you are with me on that. Because I really don't care how many times a doctor says I should shower. Because I shower at least once a day. Normally in the evening. So I don't go to bed all funky. And then sometimes twice a day. It just depends on what you're doing early on in the day, if you need to take a shower. Or if how late you took a bath at night, and then, I don't know, maybe you weren't feeling well, you're sweating a little bit in bed. Sometimes you wake up, you feel like you should take a bath. So 1 or 2 times. If it's not at least one time a day, then, that just goes to show you can't always trust the doctors. You got to verify. Trust but verify. Pelosi plays hardball as coronavirus stimulus talks resume. Oh, the bias is so thick. Pelosi plays some hardball. What the stimulus whiplash means for markets. We're at the table. Pelosi responds after Trump admits need for coronavirus stimulus. So, folks, just an update on what's going on here. One of the biggest sticking points is that Democrats want what can be categorized as just huge funding. I'm going to try to not say the buzzwords like bailouts, but they want a lot of funding going to local governments and state governments to cover, and they give you all the reasons, right? And if they're acting in good faith, okay, these local governments, they need this money. But then the rebuttal is that, hey, you're asking for way more than what's really needed. You're really just trying to give these local and state governments money like it's, because you never let a crisis go to waste. So many of these localities and states are hemorrhaging money. They're badly in debt and they need government bailouts. And so, coronavirus is going to help us, get our books back in order. And so Trump and his administration are like, we're not going to do that, because all these people who need it, who are begging for these bailouts, they're all my political enemies in most cases. Which is why they should learn from this. If they were nicer to each other and they can be political opponents, but it's gone past that. They're political enemies. So you can't be asking for money from your enemy at this point. Hey, bail out New York, even though their governor told Trump that he shouldn't come back to his own hometown unless he has an army with him. Oh yeah, but you know what? Give me money. Give my state money because we mismanage all the money we have. Come on, that should be like a case study of one reason why these people need to figure things out and not be so antagonistic towards one another. You can't call each other all these names, call each other racist, call each other losers, and it not have ramifications. This one says Wauwatosa, I think this is in Wisconsin. Civil unrest unfolded in Wisconsin suburb after prosecutors said they will not charge a black Wauwatosa police officer for fatally shooting a black teenager outside a shopping mall in February. So demonstrators smash windows, throw rocks at residential homes and businesses. It was a black police officer who shot this black teen. So thank God, because if it was a white guy who shot him, they would be... I hadn't heard of this, so there's a reason. Because if it would have been a white guy, trust me, it would have been all over the news, even more so. It's on the news today, but I'm just finding out about this. This is a new one. There's all these incidents, unfortunately, that are happening. So the media has really put a spotlight on it. But they didn't put a spotlight on this one. I wonder why. Moving on. Dodge a cracked phone screen mishap with Yahoo Plus Mobile Protect. Oh, that's just a shameless advertisement masquerading as a normal headline, folks. CDC officials are reportedly horrified their boss wrote a letter excusing Mike Pence from their own quarantine advice. This is the old saying where, and this is part of life, where we talk about fairness. One of the things is, everybody needs to play by the same rules. There needs to be some semblance of fairness for things to operate well. And everybody has an experience with this, whether while they were in school. Some people, the teacher's pet may get treated differently. Things are different for everybody, unfortunately, in some cases. And You see that in most people's work experience, in life in general. And so Mike Pence is the vice president. He has things to do. And so he can't, I'm assuming the logic is, hey, I can't just follow these rules that everybody else has to because it's too limiting. I'm the vice president. I need to do some things, right? And so this type of leeway, look at, if you'll recall, look at Nancy Pelosi, who went to the salon when it's supposed to be closed and was not wearing a mask. She claims she was set up. It doesn't matter if she was set up. She should have never gone because she knows that's against, that she was defying an order or rules that everybody else was supposed to be following, but not her. And that whole situation was bizarre anyways, because this woman is worth $100 million. She could have, you telling me she couldn't have paid somebody to come to her house? So, very strange. But, adults, folks at home, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is that some people don't have to follow the rules. Sometimes it's super unfair and mind-boggling. Other times it's not as big of a deal. So, we'll leave you to think, you know when it's a big deal, you know when it's not. I don't know, it says Mike Pence doesn't want to follow the quarantine guidance. Is that a big deal? Are you not going to follow quarantine advice because Pence or Trump doesn't? Are you going to do things? Are you going to live your life accordingly to how politicians live their lives? I don't know if that's a good idea. Experts, according to the USA Today on Yahoo headlines here, experts, ballistic report shows Louisville officer was shot by Breonna Taylor's boyfriend and not by friendly fire. With the whole Breonna Taylor thing, who knows what's up with that? I've read information, which you're supposed to do, folks, get informed before you make your decisions. I've read it both ways on different things, and it still seems like, my criticism is this, is the whole warrant, whether it was no knock or not. Okay, you can have a no knock warrant, and then you can still have a warrant. The thing is, it's a huge confrontation. It was Breonna Taylor's boyfriend and her dangerous criminals who were selling fentanyl that was killing people left and right. And it was this huge public service in order to apprehend them right then and there, that you have to enter their home that way. It seems unnecessary. Why can't you arrest them? You see this like in the movies, while they're just walking down the sidewalk or they're at the store buying something. You just rush up on them, you're under arrest. I'm Detective so-and-so. You have another officer with you. And you arrest them. Why do you got to go to their house in the middle, late at night? So that is the biggest criticism I think that can be had in terms of police reform. That can be done for sure, because a lot of this could have been avoided if they did that instead. But then you can't deny the fact that, regardless, if the cops bust into your house and you shoot at them, it's going down. Shots, it's going to be crossfire. And so, I don't know. Let's move on. Coughing Trump suggests he may never even have had coronavirus in Fox News interview. They found very little, if any. And this is going to be hard. Trump, sometimes, he can't help himself because he just says what he thinks. But he didn't really have to share that with anybody, because ultimately, the criticism can be he's an idiot and he just says what's on his mind, and that's probably not even true. But the other part of it is that it's possible and plausible that not everybody who does have coronavirus, this is a great example. Look at him. I mean, it's been a week almost, or it's been a week. He's still alive. He's not going to die, okay? And he's likely getting better, feeling better over time. So he's only likely going to feel better and better and better as days go by. Like everybody who's human, that's how getting over an illness normally works, right? And all these people who are getting coronavirus, there got to be different, levels. There's levels to the game, right? So it's got to be different levels in which you had the coronavirus. So some people get it really bad, some people not as bad. So why is the assumption that the coronavirus Trump had was super bad? He was super, super sick. He had all kinds of infection. Isn't it possible that maybe he didn't have he had enough to test positive, so he had coronavirus, but then there really wasn't a whole lot. I don't even know if that's how it works, folks. This is even if it's even possible to have very little coronavirus. It's like you can't be barely pregnant. You either are or you are not. But you can be more pregnant than you can be further along and you're pregnant. I don't know. Moving on. Who cares? He's not gonna die, folks. Okay, he's gonna live. Like 99% of everybody else who gets coronavirus. Barr is reported. So this is Attorney General Barr is reportedly frustrated at Trump's public pleas for him to indict Biden and other political foes. Trump, still fighting last election, rips Barr and Pompeo for not pursuing Clinton hard enough, and Trump launches rare attack on loyal aides Pompeo and Barr. Conservative commentator calls Kamala Harris unsufferable. No, we already read that one. Repeat. The Air Force's secret new fighter jet could pack this highly classified tech. The mysterious aircraft will deliver survivability, lethality, and persistence. Ooh. See? That's something, if you're sitting in the lobby of the dentist's office, this is something you click on. I want to know about fighter jets. From popular mechanics, at least it's something not like political, spun in some political way, or meant to make me feel terrible about myself, like I'm racist or I'm not doing enough to help poor people or something. Hurricane Delta bears striking resemblance to Atlantic's most intense storm. I guess I didn't know storms look like each other. Trump's $200 Medicare checks. $200. Trump's $200 Medicare checks. When will you receive one? It says letters will reportedly be sent to eligible recipients within the coming week. What's up with that? I'm not getting that money. It's okay. I'm not a hater. Hey, find out how you get that money and then get it. Good for you. The U.S. military and Elon Musk are planning a 7,000 mile per hour rocket that can deliver weapons anywhere in the world in an hour. It says the planned SpaceX rocket can blast 80 tons of cargo into space and complete a 7,652 mile journey from Florida to Afghanistan in about an hour. This is what seems, that's the future. But it seems like they're going to destroy and ruin a lot of cargo testing this out, okay? Because when you're traveling that fast, how are you going to protect all the cargo that's in there? I get surely it's going to be in some kind of capsule and it's going to go whatever, but it just seems like, why would you need to get 80 tons of cargo to Afghanistan in an hour? Seems like a lack of planning is the reason for this, and maybe better planning would be the solution. But we need to do these things because it's like when we went to the moon and all these new discoveries, all these things are created and discovered in the process of doing that. So in the process of trying to deliver 80 tons of cargo over 7,000 miles away in an hour will possibly lead to new discoveries in science and technology. Maybe. Listen, guys, we're like halfway in. We're going to go over a couple of more. Going to try to pick out the best. 95% of Americans would be utterly baffled by Biden's tax proposals, says some expert. Oh, here's a good. Trump's Proud Boy moment sparks black outrage in Florida. Depending on who you listen to, where you consume your news. Apparently, Trump is doing slightly better with black men in this election, whether you believe it or not. So, if you're his political opponent, you got to do something about that. And how do you do that? You try to align Trump with white supremacists and apparently people who hate black people. The thing about the Proud Boys, I encourage people to do their own investigation into it. It's undeniably multiracial. Now, you can say their positions and things like that are problematic, but it's sheer ignorance to believe that it's a white supremacy organization when there are hundreds and hundreds of examples of ethnic minorities being in the Proud Boys. How does this make sense? How can you be a white supremacist, anti-Semite group, but then there's Jews, there's like a Jewish chapter of Proud Boys. There's black Proud Boys, Asian, gay. All these people are part of this group, and yet then there's supposed to be all these terrible things. So it's like self-hating. So if you're gay and in the Proud Boys, it's because you hate yourself. Or if you're black and you're in the Proud Boys, it's because you don't like black people. You hate yourself. And they're cool with you too. It doesn't make sense, folks. Doesn't make sense. We got to figure it out. Here's another editorial. Dear Judge Amy Coney Barrett, you can stop this disaster before more lives are lost and legitimacy squandered. So here's an article trying to tell Amy Coney Barrett to just like withdraw her name, like, oh, don't try to pursue this lifetime dream because it might make certain political people upset. It's just not fair. You know, one of the things, Barack Obama, former president, I've always had respect for the office, okay? So you may not agree with people who are in politics, but you know, once it's fashionable to just, you know, shit on presidents, it's just not a good look, okay? That's my opinion. But he said something that is memorable, because I'm going to tell you now. He at a time said, after he had won his first election and Democrats had a lot of control in Congress, they were, you know, trying to move along and try to get their agenda into place. And I think he was taking some criticism about how, well, hey, there's no bipartisanship in any of this. You know, y'all are in control and y'all are just having y'all's way. And, you know, there's no bipartisanship. And President Obama at the time said, well, you know, after giving some long-winded response, then said that elections have consequences, okay? And in this example, when it comes to the Supreme Court and the Senate of the United States, Donald Trump won in 2016. So he's president. He gets to make these choices. It's in the Constitution. There's nothing in the Constitution about the timing of when it happens. It just says when there's a vacancy, he can appoint somebody to be confirmed. Okay? And then the Senate, it's the Senate who then advises and consents. Again, there's no timing. There's no rules on this. The argument then is also in 2018, there was an election. And the Democrats won the House. But the Republicans kept the Senate. Okay? So the argument is that the people did speak. The people at that point would have known if the people, voters, would have voted in a Democrat Senate in 2018, then this wouldn't happen. This lady would not. She would be the Merrick Garland guy. Merrick Garland, I think his name was. And Trump would have appointed Amy Coney Barrett, but she would not. The Democrat-controlled Senate would not have approved her. Okay, so since the Republicans control the Senate, they are going to approve her, Doesn't matter if people over writing articles on the internet begging her not to take, to withdraw her name or something. None of that's going to matter. Because, like President Obama said years ago, elections have consequences. So we're going to do what we want to do. We're in charge. We're not going to, just because you're not in charge now, you're going to cry. Well, the thing about it is you can cry. You can moan, but it's not going to get you anywhere. It's not a successful strategy for stopping anything. Okay? Maybe in your relationships, in your real life, right? If you bitch and moan enough to your significant other, maybe you can affect some change. But it's not going to happen here in this situation, folks. Last one. Let's have a look at... there's stuff on protesters, some stuff on football. Here's one that's strange, coming from Salon, which is way out there left. There's something wrong. Pelosi thinks Trump was medicated during the State of the Union address. That was many months ago. Why is that a headline on Yahoo on October the 9th or the 10th? What's today? Today's Friday, folks. And it is the 9th. October the 9th. And Yahoo is aggregating a headline from Salon that is mentioning Trump and the State of the Union address, which happened 5, 6, 7 months ago. I don't know when it happened, but it was a long time ago now. But I'll tell you why, because this is another headline, anti-Trump headline, that's clickbait on Yahoo, and that's all they want. They could be secretly in love with Donald Trump. That's one. Okay, that could be one reason. I guarantee you, if there was 200 links or headlines on this Yahoo, 100 of them are related to Donald Trump. It's insane. So again, there's something wrong. Pelosi is the last person to be talking about the way in which people look when they're talking or doing anything, because she doesn't exactly look, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in many of her, things I see on TV of her. Okay, it's not. She's 80-something years old. Okay, if you think Biden is old, this lady's older. And Trump was medicated. I don't even remember what he looked like. To me, there was nothing I watched. I don't know if I watched it all, but I watched probably most of it. And I don't remember him being or looking or acting any kind of way that would be different. So what the heck? This, again, just goes to show you why nothing gets done, because they are political enemies. These are not political opponents. They're political enemies. And they're enemies because of accusations like this. Here she is talking about him being medicated. That is, a very strange accusation, speculation to be. When you say that about somebody, it's kind of a, is it unfair? You don't want to talk about people and are they medicated or they're acting weird. It just seems like a very strange thing to just put out there. But she knows what she's doing. She puts that out there so then people tweet it. Again, one reason I was just questioning, well, why are they putting this out today, months and months later? The fact is that this headline then is going to be on some normie's phone, and they're going to be looking at it while they're wasting time, and they're going to see this link and they hate Trump, so then they're going to forward it to their buddies on WhatsApp, or they're going to share, retweet it or share it on Twitter, or however you use that crap. And so then it gets out there. So then everyone's going to be like, oh, he was medicated during the State of the Union? Oh, he's medicated now? He's sick? It just, it's trying to build this narrative, which is, I don't know. One of the things, folks, that you learn, that every generation talks about how the previous generation was either better, more civil, smarter, etc., etc. So are we reliving that now, or are things just really that bad now compared to the past in terms of politics? I don't know. But we're going to finish up, folks, with our last headline. This is Yahoo headlines, folks. We're going to try this segment every so often, this rapid fire. Get to hear the headlines. Let's say you're away from your computer and you didn't get to click on and see the headlines, or away from your phone. Thing is, if you're watching this, you probably have your phone or at your computer, so you can look at these yourself. But I hope this was slightly entertaining. 40 minutes in. Don't forget that this podcast is brought to you by Sage Choice Insurance Agency. We're a full service independent insurance agency specializing in homeowners insurance. We specialize in auto insurance. We do business insurance. You can reach us at 361-400-2411. We have this really great online form that you can fill out. Give us some information, secure, encrypted. Send us some information that will allow us to then send you a quote. Quick, free quote on your auto, your home. It's quotefromjamin.com. Quotefromjamin.com. Go there, fill out some information. We'll get back with you with a quote. Save you some money. Loan originators, real estate agents looking for referral partners, give us a call, 361-400-2411. Thanks again, folks. We got some more episodes. I got a long day of podcasting today, so I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to have quite a bit of episodes coming up the next coming days. For the next 4 or 5 days, I think we're going to have a new episode, a couple episodes. Might even put out more than one episode in a single day. So all kinds of content. We're getting close to 50 episodes. Won't be long before we have a YouTube channel. So thanks again for joining us. Stick with us because the best is yet to come.